In this particular lecture, we will discuss how we can perform the convolution sum in two signals. Here, we're actually approaching a discrete time signal. The signals are given by the equation x of n is equal to alpha raised to n into u of n, and h of n is equal to give beta raised to n into u of n. We need to verify two conditions when alpha not equal to beta and alpha is equal to beta. And here we need to find out the system output y of n for the given input x of n and impulse response h of n. And first we will consider the case when this alpha not equal to beta. And if you observe this particular equation, you can see that the convolution sum equation is sigma k is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of k into h of n minus k. Here we required x of k and h of n minus k. But in the question, it is given x of n. So first we can find out x of k. So from x of n, we can find out x of k by simply replacing n k. So we'll get alpha raised to k into u of k. In this particular case, you can see that there is u of k. We know the signal u of k. U of k is equal to 1 for k greater than or equal to 0, and 0 for k less than 0. And if you draw the waveform, it will be like this. The variable is k, and here it is 0. It's 1, 2, 3. Here it is minus 1, minus 2, etc. And from this equation, we know that if k is greater than or equal to 0, so this is a point 0, and if k is equal or greater than 0, the function magnitude is 1. So this is a signal u of k. Here, the signal amplitude is 0. When k less than 0 means from minus 1, minus 2, etc. So this is a signal u of k. Now we can see the second signal, that is h of n minus k. If you simply replace h of n with, if you replace n by using n minus k, you will get h of n minus k. So here it is h of n minus k. That is beta raised to n minus k into u of n minus k. Here again, there is a step signal, shifted version of the step signal. You can find the definition of u of n minus k here. N minus k is equal to 1 for n minus k greater than or equal to 0. Here the variable is k, so we'll keep k here and we'll move n to the right side. So it becomes minus k less than minus. And we know that if we required in terms of k, so we'll multiply with minus 1, so it becomes k and n. Then sign will be just reverse. And 0 for n minus k less than 0, or we can write it's minus k less than minus n, or if you multiply with minus, it becomes k greater than. So if you observe the graph, this is k, variable is k, here it is 0, and we need to plot u of n minus k. And if you observe this particular case, u of n minus k, we don't know the value of n. It can be positive or negative. Assume that n is positive and it's somewhere here. And if k is less than or equal to n, means towards left side. Towards left side, the signal magnitude is 1. And for n greater than, k is greater than n, means it's 0. That's the meaning, k greater than n. Now, if you observe these two signals, you can see that one signal starts from 0 to infinity, other exists from minus infinity to n. And we'll assume that n is positive. And from the equation, you can write y of n is equal to, if you observe the equation, it's k ranging from minus infinity to infinity. But we know that if you multiply these two signals, that is k equal to minus infinity to infinity, alpha k into u of k. The second signal is beta raised to n minus k into u of n minus k. You know that the signal u of k exists only from 0 onwards. So we can start the summation from 0 onwards. And we know that u of n minus k is from minus infinity to n. So we can limit the upper limit to n. And here it is alpha k into 1 beta raised to n minus k into 1. Now if you consider this particular summation, here the variable is k, so you can consider the term n as a constant term here. So you can take beta raised to n outside. So remaining k is equal to 0 to n, and alpha raised to k into beta raised to n already we taken outside. The remaining is beta raised to minus k. Again, if you simplify this, beta raised to n into k 0 to n, and alpha beta raised to minus k you can write by beta and whole raised to k. So now we got a summation equation, finite sequence, and we know the formula. When k is ranging from 0 to n, a raised to k can be written as 1 minus a raised to n plus 1 by 1 minus a. So this is the formula for a finite sequence, and you can apply that formula here. In place of a, it is alpha by beta, so you can write beta raised to n. If you simplify this particular summation, you will get 1 minus alpha by beta, the whole raised to n plus 1 divided by 1 minus alpha by beta. So this is the final equation when alpha not equal to beta and n greater than 0, because we considered that n is positive. And now we need to consider the case when alpha is equal to beta. So in the problem, there are two conditions when alpha not equal to beta and alpha equal to beta. In this particular relation, if you substitute alpha is equal to beta, see, we already got one relation, y of n, and if you substitute alpha is equal to beta in the final equation of y of n, you can see that at the denominator there is a indeterminate form, 1 minus alpha by alpha. So it becomes indeterminate. So we cannot apply directly the limit alpha tending to or beta tending to alpha, both are same. So if you want to substitute in this particular equation, we need to substitute L'Hospital rule in this particular equation. Again, it's a very lengthy process, so we will avoid that. Instead of that, we will use this particular relation before applying the final result. So here you can see that if you substitute alpha is equal to beta in the highlighted equation, it becomes alpha raised to n, sigma k is equal to 0 to n. In place of beta, we will substitute alpha, so alpha by alpha all raised to k. So alpha raised to n, sigma k is equal to 0 to n, 1 raised to k. Okay. So now we need to simplify this. See, when you apply this particular summation, there is always a chance to make mistakes, because 1 raised to k is may substitute is equal to 1. But it's not like that. I will give you a simple example. It's very important. For example, it's 0 to 2. 1 raised to k means it's actually 1 raised to 0 plus 1 raised to 1, 1 square. And that is 1 plus 1 plus 1, means you will get 3. And if the limit is up to 2, you will get 2 plus 1. That's the result. And similarly here, if it is alpha raised to n into 1 raised to 0, 1 raised to 1, 1 square plus etc. up to 1 raised to n. So total you will get n plus 1 terms. If it is n, you will get n plus 1 terms. And it's starting from 0 onwards. So you can write alpha raised to n into n plus 1 when alpha equal to beta. Okay, this is a very important question. Most of the cases, most of the textbooks explain this particular problem because it's very important. Always make sure that when you substitute alpha is equal to beta, you don't directly substitute in this particular equation. There's a common mistake most of them make. So always try to apply L'Hospital rule, or you can try the second method that we explained in this particular class. Okay, thank you.